Today, we're digging into some of the biggest, most revolutionary ideas about the human mind. I mean, these are ideas that totally changed how we see ourselves, from the guy who started it all, Sigmund Freud, to the rebels who came along and said, hold on a minute.
I mean, really think about it. Why do you say the things you say? Why do you dream about what you dream about? What are those invisible forces kind of pulling the strings behind the scenes of your own life?
Well, it all starts with this one massive idea from Sigmund Freud, the unconscious. He had this brilliant analogy. He said the mind is like an iceberg. The little tiny tip that you can see above the water, that's your conscious mind, what you're thinking about right now. But the real action, the giant hidden mass underneath, that's the unconscious. It's packed with all these desires, memories, and drives that are shaping almost everything you do, and you're not even aware of it.
So to really get this hidden world, we have to start with the man who basically drew the first map. Let's dive into the world according to Freud.
He didn't see our minds as this, one peaceful, happy place. No. For Freud, your psyche is a battlefield. There's a constant three-way tug-of-war going on inside your head.
And here are the three fighters. First, you've got the id. Think of it as the little devil on your shoulder. It's all about impulse, desire. It wants what it wants right now. Then, on the other shoulder, you have the superego. That's the angel. It's your conscience, full of all the rules and shoulds you've picked up from society. And who's stuck in the middle? That's your ego. It's the negotiator, the realist, trying to get the id's needs met without ticking off the superego. What a job, right?
Being the ego sounds exhausting, doesn't it? Trying to play referee between your inner animal and your inner saint. So how on earth does it stop you from just going completely wild all the time?
Well, it has some pretty clever tricks up its sleeve called defense mechanisms. For example, sublimation is when you take an unacceptable impulse, like aggression, and channel it into something useful, like becoming a star athlete. Or there's denial, where you just flat out refuse to believe something painful is true. Projection is a classic. You feel a certain way, maybe angry or jealous, but you accuse someone else of feeling that way. And we all know rationalization. That's when we come up with a perfectly logical-sounding excuse for doing something we know was kind of wrong.
Now, Freud's ideas were a bombshell, but they were not the final word. Pretty soon, a new group of thinkers came along, the Neo-Freudians. They respected Freud, but they also weren't afraid to challenge his biggest ideas.
These rebels basically said, look, we get it, but it can't all be about sex and aggression. They believe that our social world, our relationships, and our ability to grow and change throughout our entire lives were way more important than Freud gave them credit for.
And this quote from Alfred Adler, one of the first major rebels, just nails that shift in thinking. He said, our main drive in life isn't chasing pleasure. It's the struggle to overcome this deep, fundamental feeling of being inferior that we're all born with.
And this opened up all these new questions about how our early years shape us. Like, is your childhood really your destiny? Are you locked in for life because of what happened when you were a kid?
Okay, here's a really fun one from Adler that you've probably seen all over social media. Are you a firstborn, a middle child, the baby of the family? Adler was the first to say that where you fall in the family lineup could have a huge effect on your personality.
His theory went something like this. Firstborns are like dethroned monarchs when a new baby comes along, so they strive to get that status back. Middle kids are often super competitive, always trying to catch up. And lastborns? They might get pampered, but they can also feel kind of small and inferior because everyone else is older and can do more. It's a hugely popular idea, even if modern science isn't totally sold on it.
Then there was Erik Erikson. He threw a real curveball into the mix. He argued that we don't just stop developing when we leave childhood. He saw our whole life as a series of social challenges, or crises, that we have to work through, and each one helps build who we are.
And here's one of his absolute greatest hits, a phrase you definitely know, the identity crisis. Erikson came up with that to describe that intense struggle, usually in our teens, of trying to figure out, who am I? What do I actually care about? And where am I going?
Okay, so we've gone from inner conflicts to social stages, but another one of these rebels, Carl Jung, took us somewhere even deeper, into the really mysterious, almost spiritual parts of the mind.
Jung was actually Freud's hand-picked successor for a while, but they had a major falling out. Why? Because Jung believed there was something even more profound than our personal unconscious. He proposed a layer of mind that connects all of us.
He called it the collective unconscious. This is a wild idea. Think of it as a kind of psychic inheritance. It's not about your memories, it's a shared pool of memories and images from our entire human history.
It's Jung's explanation for why so many different cultures, thousands of miles and years apart, have such similar myths and symbols.
And these shared images pop up as archetypes, universal characters or themes like the hero, the trickster, or the wise old man. For Jung, becoming a whole person meant facing your shadow, the dark stuff you don't like about yourself, getting in touch with your anima or animus, your inner feminine or masculine side, all in the service of finding the self, which is the ultimate goal of becoming a balanced, unified person.
So we've gone from inner battles to social ladders to ancient myths. But why does any of this stuff, which is so old, still matter today?
And let's be clear, they are old. We're talking about theories from the time of horse-drawn buggies. In the fast-moving world of science, that's practically ancient history. And yet, their impact is just massive. It's undeniable. These ideas didn't just stay in psychology textbooks. They leaked out and soaked into our culture, changing the very words we use to talk about our own minds.
Seriously, just think about it. Anytime you mention someone having a big ego, or you laugh about making a Freudian slip, anytime you talk about someone having an inferiority complex, or going through an identity crisis, or you point out the hero and villain archetypes in the latest blockbuster movie, you are speaking their language. The language of Freud, Adler, Erikson, and Jung.
They gave us a whole new vocabulary to explore our own hidden depths. So after all this, the only question left is, what hidden force, what little whisper from your id, your shadow, or your inner striving are you going to notice in yourself